Well, good afternoon. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Replays. That's the Soli Deo Gloria Replays. We give God glory in everything we do, even gameplay. Coming to you this afternoon after a while since I've posted anything online, I've streamed anything, and just thankful to be doing it. Thankful for this new year, and thankful for the opportunity to play. The year ended well for me. Good Christmas, good New Year. I have been working a new job, which has changed my schedule. I've been working on my health, which has been very good. I'm happy with my health. I'm down a whopping 134 pounds and feeling great. Much better health for it. Thankful for that. As getting older and carrying around that extra weight is not healthy, and so I'm thankful for that and continuing in that health journey. And today I'm going to jump back into my play using 3 different game systems, but we're going to be using Action PC Baseball this afternoon. We're replaying the 1956 season, and I'm going to jump into a game between the Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees, the dreaded New York Yankees. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on with that. We're looking at 2 teams that are pretty close in the current season together. The Yankees are currently at 11-7, while Cleveland's 10-6. They're both a game and a half back of the Senators in the American League. So a 10-6 Cleveland team against an 11-7 Yankees team, and it's going to be a good matchup. Looking forward to seeing how this one is going to play out as we step into this game. As we see on the screen, welcome to Yankee Stadium for today's game between Cleveland and New York. Cleveland has won 8 of their last 10. An early win will start for Cleveland. He's made 3 starts on the year and is 3-0 with an ERA of 1.67. This will be his first start against the Yankees, and he'll be opposed by Johnny Cucks for New York. He's made 3 starts and is 2-1, but with an ERA north of 6 at 6.11. His first start against Cleveland. Cleveland's shortstop Chico Carrasqual is riding a 10-game hitting streak. It's 68 degrees. The wind is 6 miles, and it's blowing in from right center field. So that's our setting, and let's get into this game. Play ball. Leading off, for the Cleveland Indians will be Gene Woodling in left field. He's batting .255 in this replay, down a little from his .262 in real life. As Cucks goes into the windup, here is the pitch, and struck him out with the Parmesan pellet, the Brie Bullet, the Rockford Rocket. And if anybody can tell me what movie that came from, hopefully some of you sports movie buffs will know where that came from. Coming up, batting in the second spot, playing second base, Bobby Avila, who is batting .257. Cucks into his windup, and the pitch, and he walks him. So we have a strikeout from Cucks and a free pass to Avila down to first base. That'll bring up Al Smith, who's batting .273 with a home run on the season. He batted .274 in the real season, so he's right on pace. As Avila takes a slight lead, Cucks glances over, goes into his windup to pitch to Smith, and it's lifted into left field. Elston Howard on his bicycle gets it off his shoe tops for out number 2. That's going to bring up Vic Wertz. Wertz batting 188 so far early in the season, below his 264 average in 56. Here's the pitch to Wertz. Kux goes into the windup. The pitch, it's hit to Kux on the mound, fires it over to Skowron for out number 3. So 1 left on, and we have Early Wynn coming to the mound as Hank Bauer leads off for the Yankees. Bauer batting 214 so far early in this season, below his 241 average in 56. Early Wynn into the windup and the pitch. It's a slow roller to Avila at second, over to Wertz at first for the 4-3 putout, and out number 1. That's going to bring up Billy Martin. He's batting 304 so far early in this season, above his 264 average in 56. In the on-deck circle is Mickey Mantle. Wynn bears down on Martin with the pitch, and it's lifted into center field. Busby going back for it and settles underneath it. Can of corn for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down as Mickey Mantle steps to the plate. Mantle's 56th season was his Triple Crown season, where he batted .353 with 52 home runs and 130 RBIs. So you got to be careful with Mantle. So far in this season replay, he's batting .323 with 6 home runs and 14 RBIs. Here's a pitch from Early Wynn. It's hit sharply to first. Wynn covering the bag and tosses it over for 3 up and 3 down, and we go to the second, scoreless here in New York, and that brings up Al Rosen to the plate. Rosen batted .267 in 56. He's batting a meager .219 here in the replay. Johnny Kux into the windup and the pitch. It's hit sharply into right center field. Mantle makes a poor play on it, and Rosen has a leadoff double standing up at second as Jim Busby, the center fielder, comes to the plate. Busby batting .267 in this replay, above his .235 average in 56. As Rosen takes a slight lead, as Kux goes into windup, Busby squares around to bunt. He lays down the bunt. Kux over to first, and Rosen moves over, and making that play, Kux has injured himself, and so he's out for the game, and Bob Grimm is now pitching for New York. He's making his 3rd appearance of the season, so we have a pitcher go down for the Yankees covering that sacrifice bunt, and that's going to bring up Chico Carrasquel, who's coming to the plate on a 10-game hitting streak with a runner on third with 1 out. Bob Grimm comes into a tight spot, and here's the pitch from Grimm, who's now warmed up Carrasquel, and he strikes him out. Grimm comes in and gets Carrasquel swinging, and that's 2 down on a 2-2 pitch. He gets him with the bender, and that will bring up Jim Hegan, who's batting .267 here in the replay, above his .222 in the 56 season. So can he bring Rosen home as Grimm bears down? He brings the pitch, and strikeout number 2. Grimm comes in and pitches himself out of the situation. So Rosen left stranded on third, and we go to the bottom, the second, still scoreless, and Yogi Berra coming to the plate. Berra, so far in this replays, batting .333, above his .298 average in 56. So Early Wynn into his windup and the pitch, and he walks Berra. Berra gets the free pass as Wynn, on a 3-0 count, gave him 4 straight balls. He didn't want to give Yogi anything to hit, and that's going to bring Bill Skowron to the plate. He's batting .324. The dangerous Skowron had 23 home runs in 56. As Yogi Berra takes a slight lead off of first. Here's the pitch from Wynn, and it's lifted shallow center field, drops in front of Busby for a single for Skowron. Moves Berra over to second, so with no outs, we have runners on first and second. Gil McDougall coming to the plate. McDougall batting .286 so far in this replay, and Wynn's in a bit of a jam here. 2 on, no outs here in the bottom of the second. And he walks them full, so Wynn is in a tight spot. The bases are loaded. They're dripping with Yankees, and Elston Howard coming to the plate. Howard, not a huge home run threat, only 5 in the 56 season, but there were 5, as Wynn really needs to pitch himself out of this little jam. Here is the pitch. It's grounded to Wirtz, and he boots it, so an error by Wirtz, and Berra comes across to score. Wirtz charged with the error, so the base is still loaded, no outs, and a run across as Andy Carey steps to the plate. Bring the infield halfway. Try to get a double play laid down. Here's the pitch from Early Wynn. It's hit slowly to Carrasquel. Can he do anything with it? Throw? No, he only got a 21% chance. And you get the force at second. Cannot turn 2. So now we got another run across. Runners on the corner, and the pitcher Grimm coming to the plate, and we're going to expect the bunt, so we're going to bring the corners in, and here is the pitch to Grimm, and he struck him out. A much needed strikeout from Wynn, as he's down 2-0 here in the bottom of the second, and that brings Hank Bauer back to the plate. Bauer grounded to second his first time up. Here's the pitch from Wynn. Hits sharply to Rosen at third. Fires over to first for the 5-3 putout, and out number 3, but not before 2 runs come across. And we have a 2-0 New York lead here in the top of the third. And that'll bring Early Wynn, the pitcher, to the plate. Wynn, in this replay, is batting .364. He's had a respectable average in 56 at .228 with a home run. So Wynn will be swinging away. Here is the pitch, and he hits it sharply to Martin at second. Fires it over to Skowron for the 4-3 putout, and out number 1. And that's going to bring Gene Woodland back to the plate, who went down hacking his first time up. And here's the pitch from Grimm. It's hit slowly to Carey at third. Carey firing over to first, and he gets him by a half step for out number 2. And that was a close bang-bang play at first base, but an out all the more. And that'll bring Bobby Avila to the plate. He walked his first time up. And here's the pitch from Grimm. And Avila, with a good eye, gets his second free pass of the game, and that brings up Al Smith. Smith fly to shallow left his first time up, and Grimm into the windup and the pitch. It's hit sharply to Carey at third. Up with it, fires over to first to Skowron for out number 3. So we leave a runner stranded. And we go to the bottom of the third with the New York Yankees up 2-0 on the Cleveland Indians. And that's going to bring up Billy Martin. Let me get a sip of coffee here. I hope everyone who stops by to listen had a good Christmas and a very happy New Year. and are expecting exciting things for the upcoming year, 2023. So Martin at the plate, the much maligned and oftentimes manager for the New York Yankees later in life. Him and Steinbrenner had their times, that's for sure. As Early Wynn stares down Martin, here is the pitch. And it's hit to Rosen at third. Rosen up with it, fires it over to Wirtz at first, and gets Martin by a step for out number one. And that brings up Mickey Mantle. Mantle grounded to first, his first time up. And Mantle looking to get his hot bat swinging away, but Early Wynn strikes him out, got him with a high heat, and the heater sits Mantle down inside corner and strike out. And that's going to bring up Yogi Berra. Berra walked his first time up. Here is the pitch to Berra, and he gets a free pass. Berra with a good eye. Wynn being extra careful with Yogi, that seems, in this game. And that's going to bring Bill Skowron back to the plate, who singled up the middle his first time up. Here's the pitch to Skowron. Moose Skowron hits it sharply to Wirtz at first. And whoa, no. Berra is thrown out on a pitch out and a throw down to first by Hegan. He caught Berra napping on first. It was a ball low, but Hegan fires it to first, and he gets Berra napping at first. I did not see that coming. So great play by Hegan behind the plate to get his counterpart Berra napping at first. And we go to the fourth. Yankees still up 2-0 as Vic Wirtz steps to the plate. Wirtz grounded back to the pitcher in his first plate appearance. Grimm into his windup and his pitch. And he walks Vic Wirtz. And Wirtz is down to first. He will not be running as Al Rosen steps up. Rosen doubled off the wall in right center his first time up. Can he continue that swinging of the bat? And he hits it sharply to Skowron at first, who just steps over to the bag. He gets Rosen, but he moves Wirtz over to second as Jim Busby comes to the plate. Busby steps up, bunted out to the pitcher, sacrifice his first time up, and that's when Cooks went out with the injury. So Busby steps up. Here is the pitch. He swings away, hits it to Martin at second, over to Skowron at first on the 4-3, moving Wirtz over to third. So we have a runner in scoring position, and that brings Carrasqual up to the plate. Again, 10-game hitting streak. Can he continue that and move Wirtz across the plate? We will see as Grimm goes into his windup and pitch. And he strikes him out. That's the third strikeout for Grimm. And we go to the bottom of the fourth with the Yankees still up 2-0. And Bill Skowron coming to the plate. Skowron singled up the middle, moving Berra over in his plate appearance. And Wynn into his windup and the pitch. And he hits it sharply into right field. Smith up with it quickly. So that's a leadoff single from Skowron. Smith got it in quickly to hold him at first. And that'll bring Gil McDougall back to the plate. He walked his first time up. Here's the pitch from Early Wynn. And it's hit to Villa at second, up with it to Carrasqual, and cannot make the pivot to turn two. But they get the lead runner, and we have one down with Elston Howard coming to the plate. Howard steps in, Wynn with the delivery. and it's lifted into center field. Busby settling underneath it for the easy put out, and he fires it back in. As McDougal is held at first, not hit deep enough to move anybody over. Kind of hard to move over from first to second when it's hit to center field, but that'll bring Andy Carey to the plate, who grounded to short his last time up. McDougal takes a slight lead. Wynn into his windup. 2 down, runner on first. And it's hit to Carrasqual at short. He fires it over to Wirtz at first. Carey is barreling down the pass, but they get him by a step. And after 4, we go to the 5th with the Yankees still up 2-0. And Jim Hegan coming to the plate. Hegan with that great defensive gem of getting Berra on first. Is 0 for 1 on the day. Berra gives the signal to Grimm. Grimm with the pitch. Hegan hits it to Martin at second. Over to first. 4-3 put out is Moose Skowron. Squeezes it for out number 1. And that brings up Early Wynn. Here's the pitch to Early. And he strikes him out. That's strikeout number 4 for Bob Grimm. That brings up Gene Woodley, left fielder. It's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out his last time up and a strikeout. So Woodling steps in. Here's the pitch from Grimm. It's hit back to Grimm on the mound. Over to Skowron for the 1-3 put out. 3 up and 3 down. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 Yankees. And Grimm stepping up. Pitching well so far is Grimm, coming in for the injured Johnny Cucks. Here is the pitch to Grimm. Grimm hits it lightly to Rosen at third. He fires it over to Wirtz. And it is a bad throw. It's going to be an E5 by Rosen that pulls Wirtz off the bag, and that's the second error on the day on the Indians. And we have a runner on first with Hank Bauer up to the plate. Bauer 0 for 2 on the day. Grimm on first. Here's the pitch to Bauer. Hits sharply at Rosen. Makes the grab. Line drive out. And says it was a blooper. Looked like a line drive. That was a hard hit blooper. As Billy Martin comes back to the plate. 0 for 2 on the day. As Grimm takes a lead off of first. Here's the pitch to Grimm. And it's hit slowly to Carrasqual at short. Over to Villa. And they get the lead runner, Grimm. Having difficulties turning 2 on this day. It's 2 outs. And Mickey Mantle to the plate. He struck out his last time up. He's 0 for 2 on the day. And here's the pitch to Mantle. And he hits it sharply. And out of play. Foul ball. Boy, that looked like it might have been fair, but just a bit outside the chalk. Here's the pitch from Wynn as Mantle took it for a ride, and he took a breath of fresh air, and he strikes him out. Mantle goes down with another K, and we go now to the 6th. Yankees 2, Cleveland nothing. Bob Grimm pitching a gem so far as Avila steps up. Bobby Avila has walked both times up. See if he can get on base for the 3rd time today. This time he does hit it, but back to Grimm, who fires to Skowron, but we have an E1. Skowron threw it over his head, and Avila is safe at first. So first error on the day on the Yankees as Grimm has charged the error on the errant throw to first. And that'll bring Al Smith to the plate. Smith 0 for 2 on the day, grounded to third his last time up. And here's the pitch to Smith. Runner on first. And he gets a little too high and tight on Smith, and he gives him a good pop in the shoulder, and Smith is injured. He's headed for the clubhouse. So I need a pinch runner for Smith. Bring in Ricky Colavito to pinch run. For the injured Smith. He must have popped him good. Got him right in the ribs. Bob Grimm. As Vic Wirtz steps to the plate. Wirtz grounded to first. Grounded to the pitcher his first time up and walked. It was 0 for 1 on the day. Here's the pitch to Wirtz. It's Colavito looking to take off running. It's lifted into right field. It is hit deep, and it is caught by Bauer near the track, and Avila will make his way over to third, tagging up. So with 1 out, we have runners on the corners, and Al Rosen stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 2 on the day, doubled his first time up and grounded out his second time up. Colavito is taking a slight lead as the pitch comes from Grimm, and Rosen lifts another one into right field. It's hit deep and it's hit hard, and it is off the wall in right center field. Colavito is racing around third, and he is safe. Rosen is attempting a triple as he goes down to third, and he makes it. It's a triple by Rosen, and we're tied up 2-2 as Al Rosen hits a base clearing triple, and we're tied up 2-2, and that'll bring up center fielder Jim Busby, who grounded to second. So we have a runner on third with 1 out, and our score tied 2-2 here in the 6th. Here's the pitch from Grimm as Berra goes out to give Grimm some pointers, and here is the pitch, and it's hit sharply down to third, and Rosen is heading home, and all Kerry can do is fire it over to first as Al Rosen broke well toward home on that hit, and it's a 3-2 Cleveland lead now, and that's going to bring up Chico Carrasqual. Again, he's 0 for 2 on the day. He's wanting to keep this hitting streak going. And Grimm, with now the bases clear, has now given up the lead. It's a 3-2 Cleveland lead. And Carrasqual, it looks like, will not be getting on base this time as it's hit slowly down to first. Skowron tosses to Grimm covering, and we have going to the bottom of the 6th now, but not after Cleveland didn't plate 3, and after 5.5. We had 3 runs on 1 hit and an error. And after 5.5, Cleveland 3, New York 2. And coming to the plate, Yogi Berra. Berra is walked both times today as early wins not giving anything to Berra to pitch. Oh, I need to bring in a right fielder. Let us bring in Colavito. Yes, he was the pinch runner anyhow, so we'll bring him in to right field. And Berra looking at Wynn. Said, give me something to hit early. This time he does, and he wraps it into center field. Busby fires it in as Berra gets a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th. Bill Skowron 2 for 2 on the day. Can they sit Skowron down? Wynn pitching to Skowron, and he lifts a lazy pop-up. Looks like it's going to Carrasqual at short. Carrasqual makes the easy play on the pop-up to short, and that's going to bring Yogi Berra to the plate. That's going to bring Gil McDougald. Berra's on first. McDougald 0 for 1 on the day. He is grounded out and walked. Here's the pitch from Early Wynn. And he walks him. Come on, Early. Bounced it to the plate. So 3-1 count. So now we got runners on first and second, 1 out. And Elson Howard coming to the plate. Howard struggling so far in this replay with a 171 average. Here's the pitch to Elston. It's hit to Carrasquel at short, over to second, and to get the lead runner McDougal. So 2 outs, runners on the corner, and Andy Carey coming to plate. Can Early Wynn pitch himself out of this jam as Carey steps in, batting at the Mendoza line, and it's hit sharply to first. Wertz makes the play, steps on the bag for the 3 unassisted, and the Yankees leave 2 stranded, so no runs on a hit. And we've played 6, and we go to the 7th with the Indians up 3-2. And Jim Hegan coming to the plate. 0 for 2 on the day is Hegan. Grimm into the windup and the pitch. And he bounces it back to Skowron. Grimm covering the bag. Great play by Skowron as he scoops it up and flips it over to Grimm. And out number 1. And that brings up Early Wynn to the plate. And he's going to swing away. Here is the pitch to Early Wynn. He's 0 for 2 on the day. And that's strikeout number 5 for Grimm as he strikes out his counterpart. And that's going to bring Gene Woodland back to the plate, who is 0 for 3 on the day. And the pitch to Woodland. And he lifts it into left field, but it looks like it's not going to be deep enough. But it is hit pretty deep. And it is off the wall. A double. And we're going to keep Woodling on second. I don't like a 67% chance. As Woodling is safe at second. And Grimm is done for the day. Tom Morgan is now coming in to pitch for the Yankees. Morgan in this replay is at a 4.5 ERA and a 1.9 whip. Let's hope he can do a little better than that as Bobby Avila steps to the plate, who's 0 for 1 on the day, but has walked twice. Here is the pitch to Bobby Avila. It's grounded back up the middle to McDougal, who fires it over to first on the 6-3 putout. And Morgan got it done. Boy, that's a tough spot. They brought in the pitcher with the pitchers coming up the next inning. I'm sure they really didn't want to do that, but that's what they chose to do as Early Wynn looks at his counterpart, Morgan. And that's what I thought. They just brought in Morgan just for that one batter. Joe Collins now coming in to bat and pinch hit. Who's batting 250 on this replay. Here's the pitch to Collins from Early Wynn. And he strikes him out. Strikeout number 4 as he got him with the Parmesan pellet. And that'll bring up Hank Bauer, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Line to third his last time up. Here's the pitch to Bauer. And strikeout number 5. Back-to-back strikeouts for Early Wynn, who is getting the second win here in the 7th. And that'll bring up Billy Martin. Martin, 0 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch to Martin. And he walks him, so he gives the tying run on first with Mickey Mantle, who's got to be due. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He struck out the last 2 times. Wynn's had his number today. Here's the pitch to Mantle from Wynn. And it's hit to first, but Wertz plays it easily, 3 unassisted. And we have the new pitcher, Jim Constanti, is now pitching for New York as we go now to the 8th. All right, we go into the 8th with the Yankees trailing 3-2, and their third pitcher of the day, no, 4th actually, as Tom Morgan come in for 1 batter. We saw Johnny Cucks go out early, fielding a bunted ball, and injured himself. And now we have our 4th pitcher for the Yankees, Jim Constanti. It was Tom Morgan. But Rocky Colavito is coming to the plate. His first appearance for the day. He come in for an injured Smith. So Colavito looking to swing away. Constanti into the windup. Here's the pitch. Colavito hits one sharply into left field. It is hit hard. It is hit deep. And Colavito has come in, and he's put one in the left field seats. So Rocky Colavito coming in for an injury replacement hits a home run in the left field, and it's now 4-2 Cleveland here in New York. And that brings Vic Wertz to the plate. Wertz is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Here's the pitch to Wertz. Constanti struck him out. He was a little heated, having a leadoff home run hit on him. And that brings Al Rosen to the plate. Rosen tripled off the wall in right. His last time up, scoring 2. Al Rosen, it hits it sharply to Constanti, who makes a good play on the mound, stabs it out of the grounder back to the mound, but it's fielded by Constanti and over to Scoular at first for the 1-3 put out. So 2 down, and Jim Busby coming to the plate. Busby 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the pitch to Busby. And it's hit sharply up the middle to Mantle. And McDougal broke poorly on the ball, and it allowed it to get to Mantle in center field. So here's Carrasquel with a 10-game hitting streak, but he is 0 for 3 on the day, and this is probably going to be his last chance to extend that hitting streak. Here's the pitch to Carrasquel, and he lifts it into center field, and it looks like he's going to go 0 for on the day, and that 10-game hitting streak is over. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Early Wynn still on the mound, and Yogi Berra coming to the plate. Cleveland up 4-2, and here is the pitch. It's hit to Carrasquel at short. Chico fires it over to Vic Wertz, and it's another error, an E6, another throwing error. Wertz can't dig it out, and that's the 3rd error on the day for Cleveland, as they're giving runners unnecessarily, as Skowron now comes to the plate, and Berra moves over to second. Hit to Rosen at third, and it's another error, an E5, 4th error, and now we have runners on the corners. Bring the infield in halfway to hopefully turn 2 here as Gil McDougal comes up. Fielding errors by Indians have put them in a bind now, as Early Wynn is just shaking his head, but he pops McDougal up. Hegan looking to get under it, and out number 1. Much needed out for Wynn as they bring the infield again halfway, looking to turn 2. Here is the pitch to Howard, and he strikes him out for strikeout number 6, just what Early Wynn needed. And that brings up Andy Carey as the infield is back to normal depth. And here's the pitch from Wynn, looking to pitch himself out of this jam. It's hit to short. Avila fires it over to Wertz, and he pitches himself out of the jam that his infield put him in. And we go to the 9th with Cleveland up 4-2, and Hegan to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day is Jim Hegan. Here's the pitch. Hit to Martin at second. It pulls Skowron off the bag, but Constanti covers, and out number 1 on the 4-1 put out. Here is the pitch. Wynn's going to stay in. He's going to look to complete this game, and he strikes him out. So 2 down, and Jerry Staley is now pitching for New York. Staley coming in. And the real, he had a 108 ERA. What? I'm not sure I understand that. Well, he pitched a third of an inning. and allowed 4 hits. Yeah, I'm not understanding those numbers. So here's the pitch from Staley to Woodling. And he comes in and he gets it done. So Early Wynn goes into the bottom of the ninth. He's pitched to Jim. He's pitched a 3-hitter. His defense has been difficult behind him with 4 errors behind him, but he's pitched well, and Jerry Coleman is coming to the plate, and Wynn stares down Coleman, goes into the pitch, and he hits it sharply, but Wynn makes the play over to first on the 1-3 put out, and Early Wynn is 2 outs away from securing a 4-2 victory, and Hank Bauer stepping to the plate, but he's got the top of the lineup coming up. Here's the pitch to Bauer, who's 0 for 4 on the day. Bauer lifts one into right field. Rocky Colavito ranging over to right center field and makes the play. So 2 down, and it's up to Billy Martin to keep things going here for the Yankees here in the bottom of the ninth. So here's the pitch from Wynn, who's looking for complete game. It's lifted into left field. Woodling underneath it for the out, and that is our ball game. Cleveland comes back after trailing 2-0 and take a 4-2 win here in New York. And here's our box score. Rocky Colavito was 1 for 1 on the day. He come in and homered. Al Rosen 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And Early Wynn gets the win, goes to 4-0 on the season as Bob Grimm takes the loss. Coming in for the injured Johnny Cucks. Early Wynn pitched 9 innings, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs, just 1 of them earned. He walked 5 and struck out 6. His ERA is now, for the game, is 1.50, and he's 2.72 on the replay. Johnny Cucks came in, pitched an inning in the 3rd before he was injured, and that brought in Bob Grimm, then Tom Morgan, Costanti, and Staley as the Yankees drop a tight one 4-2 to the Cleveland Indians. So let's go to our standings. That puts Cleveland now at 11-6, just a game behind the Washington Senators. And the Yankees are now 2 games back at 11-8. And I hope you enjoyed this game. I enjoyed Action PC. It is one I enjoy playing. It flows well. I just like the ease of play with it, and it's enjoyable. And again, I thank you if you come by and take a listen. Another thing I would invite you to do, I am starting to post. I got another YouTube page called SDG Bible Study, where I read God's Word. Right now I'm reading a book called The Jesus Story that you can come by and join and go into the SDG Bible Study. But I'm now also just going ahead and posting it on my SDG Replays page as well. So join me with that. The Jesus Story is pretty fascinating. It's someone compiled. It took 20 years for a couple of men to do a blending of the 4 Gospels where it reads seamlessly. And I think you'll find it interesting to come in and join me with that. But I hope you have a blessed day today. I hope you enjoyed the playing of this game. Have a great day.